As an adoptee, I think, when you have a biological child of your own, you look at that experience and you realize something that you lost in your own birth story, but then it makes you think even deeper as a parent about what your biological parents what loss they may be feeling as well. One of the things I know about my birth story is that my birthday actually is the day I was born, which is pretty cool to know that it wasn't just a given day. So I wondered, does my biological mom think about giving birth and signing away parental rights on that day? You never know, but I think there's a lack of compassion for biological parents in the story of adoption. And I can't imagine the possible pain that is felt on that side. I mean, it's the first time when you have children as an adoptee seeing yourself reflected in someone. And you don't realize what you lost until you get it. For me, the biggest thing is our sons can tell you what time they were born. And I can tell them my whole labor and delivery story. We'll never have that, So that's really, I think that for me is the most powerful thing about having children biologically and raising them. Creating a roots of our own family. We don't have that. Being able to give them their medical history. We don't have that. All of those things. And together, we're learning our culture with our kids.
The stories that come out of the adoption process, I think, are the most important now looking at it from an adult standpoint as a parent. Right? There's a big difference now where my wisdom and logic and the way that I think about that and how I would want someone to approach me as an adoptee age 5, 10, 15, whatever, that has been cultivated by being able to speak with people more openly about adoption and about who they are. We even had a nice Americanized but still Indian wedding, and I think that, to be perfectly honest with you, I think that was the icing on the cake, which solidified for Rohan and Ravi that they're not white.
My whole life, I just was like, oh, this is what it is. Like, I'm adopted. I don't know anyone else who's adopted, and I don't really talk about it. So I just kind of like pushed it back, But I think when you become a parent and you learn like how much love there is. When I was in middle school, probably, because I feel like that's when you really start to like notice things. I was like so ashamed of like my skin color. I always felt like I looked dirty. So I just want Riza to know that she is absolutely beautiful in every single way, regardless on if she fits into what the stereotype is, She has like my weird upside down eyes is what everyone always used to say I had, or like the almond shaped eyes and like our cute cheeks and those things. We have the same exact feet, So yeah, it's amazing, honestly, to see me and her.
And one year, this was like when Tay was 1 or 2, it was Christmas time, and we were all sitting around watching Tay open up her gifts, and she started opening up this one present from Mom and Dad. She opened it up, she ripped back the paper, and it was a doll, but it was a black doll. It was an African American, it was a black doll. And I looked at the doll, and then I looked up at Mom and Dad, and my first thought, did you mean to get this one? Is this a mistake? And because I thought maybe they had ordered it and they didn't even really look at it before they wrapped it or something. And then Mom responded like, oh no, Steve, no, I thought this was important to you, that we get, diverse toys and dolls for Tay. And I was immediately, it's like, oh, that's right. Oh, okay, I get it. Way to go, Mom and Dad. You're doing it. You're doing it. Like, it was really clunky and it was really awkward, but they were doing it. And and they have since gotten so much better and so much smoother about talking about their whiteness, about talking about Korea and Asianness, and really supporting, not saying things or being offended. I guess they're not offended when we talk about race and white people and the way they treat Asians and the way Asians are seen. That used to be a point of a lot of conflict, was just talking about race and racism and whiteness, and they don't do that anymore. And kind of the ultimatum, like, they wanted to be a part of her life, and I wanted them to be a part of her life, but these were the conditions, and they have really stepped up. And it's been nice for me to see them do that, because it clearly signals to me that they value me, and they value me as their son, they value me as a parent, they value me as a person of color, and it has been healing and quite lovely. I think that, so as I became more comfortable and more confident in the language I used and my understanding of racial dynamics and some of the history of international adoption specifically, Mom and Dad then were really, they felt more comfortable talking about it, because they could hear the confidence that I had talking about it, and then they just kind of modeled their language after mine, and it just took the courage amongst all of us to just start talking about it. And then the more we talked about it, the easier it became, and the healthier we've been as a family because of those discussions and that openness.
If you want to lend your voice or your support, please reach out.